The flight crew of Asiana jet gave no indication of trouble prior to the crash. I want to bring in Daniel Rose, aviation attorney, former U.S. military pilot. I spent a lot of time with you yesterday. Thanks so much for coming back. The first indications of a problem with Flight 214 apparently came from this control tower transmission. I want to play it for you and get your reaction on the other side. Here it is.
214 Heavy, emergency vehicles are responding. Emergency vehicles are responding.
Okay, now it's,
That's the 737 Zulu Delta, San Francisco Tower, remain clear of the San Francisco Class 12 airspace. Contact San Carlos Tower.
please show all runways closed for the time being, please.
As a pilot, what do you take away from the fact that, again, there was no distress call originally from the pilot? That call came from the control tower.
Yeah, that was after everything had already happened.
Yeah.
There was no distress call. There was apparently one transmission about 7 miles away that didn't go answered, so we really don't know what the flight crew was trying to communicate at that point. But there was certainly no Mayday, emergency, I need to
Is that customary? I mean, if things are hitting the fan really quickly in the cockpit, I mean, is that something that...
Yeah, I mean, the three rules of flying are aviate, communicate, navigate, and it's to fly the plane, and then if there's something wrong, communicate what the problem is. So the flight crew would have been expected to say, I have a problem here, I need to do a missed approach or go around or try it again or something else.
After that plane came to a halt, what were the first steps likely taken by the flight crew?
Well, you can see he was on the radio. Probably, there's no checklist for this kind of a situation where, your engines are off the plane and your landing gears apart. So the smartest thing to do would be make sure that emergency personnel were rolling, which apparently he did, and then shut down all the electrical and fuel to make sure that you don't induce a fire or take away the elements that could cause a fire.
Again, you are an aviation attorney. How difficult is it to assign liability in a case like this?
Well, the liability will really track what the NTSB finds. If the NTSB finds that there was a certain amount of piloting error, they may also find contributing factors from maybe either a design issue or the way the plane was handled by air traffic control or the systems at the airport, the instrument landing system not being functional. So the liability legally should and usually does track what the NTSB finds.
How unusual was it, by the way, and I'm not sure if you saw this yet, but we've already had the head of the airline, the head of Asiana Airlines, came out this morning and said that the plane was just fine. There was no sort of malfunction with the Boeing 7777. How unusual is that, or am I making too much out of that?
I don't think you are at all. It is surprising. I mean, he's not part of the investigation. Some of the airlines have the ability to monitor in-flight systems. I don't know that Asiana has that ability, but even so, it's still so early to really get an in-depth analysis of what the engines were doing or any other system on the flight to make that kind of a, broad statement. It seemed like he was more falling on the sword than anything else.
Daniel Rose, thank you, sir. Do appreciate you.